Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 10, Episode 2. This episode is called Ken-ough. Carlos, if y'all need some help coming up with these names for these shows, I'm available. What is this? Y'all just better be glad that nobody really pays close attention to the names because maybe no. And furthermore, I don't know why this episode was boring already. We only on episode 2, but there's a lot to unpack. So let's go ahead and jump on in, right on in, okay? Before we do, please don't hesitate to subscribe, like the video, comment, let me know you stopped by. It helps with your girl in the algorithm for the free. And trust me, I need your help, okay? So it's appreciated over here. Now, we start off with Ken and Trish meeting with the Scotts 2.0 to get some horrible co-parenting advice. I mean, I know that they assume that they went through this before, but that doesn't mean they have anything sound to provide them. But I mean, okay, here we are, you know. And Trish fills them in on what happened when Marquez, her husband, barged into her house unannounced, even though I don't know. That first time I thought the daughter let him in. That's what it seemed like because he was dropping her off. Should he have known better? Yes. But the way that Trish, remixed the story, I was like, wait a minute. So she says Marquez yelled at her friend Sharon. Girl, you left out the part when your friend Sharon came in hot and had all the smoke from Marquez, and he was merely just responding to it. I mean, what was he supposed to do? I'm confused. So Ken goes on and on about how he's the one that's present. He's the present parent and he's there. He's active. The teachers know him. They don't know Marquez. Child, I'm so tired of hearing it. Let this be the last episode we have to hear this because he ran into the ground. You hear me? I don't want to hear about what you do for them kids no more. I hate to say, I don't want to hear it. Okay? I just wish he would stop because he throws it up like the end of last season, he threw it in Trish's face. Let's not forget. And then I feel like, okay, it's great. That's a stand-up thing to do. But you with a mama. You live in the house. Like, I don't understand. You live there. And we're going to get into that some more later because Marquez had valid points when they got to that argument and Kim was hooting and hollering like he ain't had no sense. You live in the house with them. You're with their mother. So what you supposed to do? Ignore the children? You're in the house with them. But at the end of the day, this is still this man's wife and kids. I might have gave you a little something if she was divorced, but she's very much married. Okay, I know it upsets you and it upsets your spirit, but you got with this married woman. Then he proceeds to say they're Marquez kids. He forgot to mention and wife. But this is my family. Sir, please stop. Stop the madness. Stop it. Because you're a boyfriend. She can easily go back with her husband tomorrow. Like, please. So Kimmy chimes in and throws shade at Ken-ough, talking about something. Well, they rather the kid not like the step parent, and they get mad when the child likes the step parent. First of all, he's not no step parent. She's married. Like, it's impossible for him to be the step parent. Second of all, she's married to their father. Third of all, what? I don't think that was the case. How did we get here, Kimmy? How did we get here? Maybe Ken-ough felt away because you was tussling around in the sheets with her husband, allegedly, but not really. But, Maurice was still married. So, yeah, what you thought she was going to act like. But furthermore, I don't think Ken-ough would send her son to live in a home with you if she wanted him to dislike you. Like, I don't think that's the case. And Marquez is not acting like he wants his children to dislike Ken. He's trying to co-parent with them. Like, please, you just chiming in with your own hurt. And anyway, I just think Kimmy was projecting. But so nothing got accomplished here. Nothing at all. Maurice was like, I really don't want to say anything because there's kids involved. And so then why are we here? Moving on. Destiny meets with Martell at was it an antique furniture store? Because the furniture looked used and worn. But Martell said that he's moving Ariane, their son, and her daughter into his investment property or rental property or whatever. And I said, Marcel, if you plan on marrying her, then why not say you were Ariane and your kids? Now I know what I just said about Ken, but the difference with Ken is Trish is still married to her children's father. Ariane ain't married to nobody, and neither is Marcel. If your goal is marriage, why are you making it? Why are you separating it? She can move her daughter and our son in. Like what? That was kind of weird, but anyway. When Marcel starts explaining what he likes about Ariane, the only thing I heard was everything she does for him. Nothing he actually likes about her specifically, just what she can do for him. And it still ain't enough because if he could have Melody back, he would be back over there, but that's neither here nor there. So Marcel said he's fresh off a divorce. So how is 3 to 4 years fresh? Ain't nothing fresh about it. Okay, there's nothing fresh about that. You're not fresh off of nothing. So I'm reminded every day when I see my kids, you've been divorced for a minute. I know you missed the life you used to have, but you didn't appreciate it. Let it go. Because even Destiny was like, you still stuck, like you're stuck there. Like you can't move on, you're stuck there. You need to see a therapist. And I agree. So Marcel asked Destiny about Lance. And she was like, look, I gave him an open book test and he failed. Okay, nothing I can do. I ain't even really all that interested. And Marcel gonna say, you need to let me coach you so you can get a man. Sir, hell no. Okay, not a man like you. No, thank you. And I'm sure Destiny agrees, honey. So we finally see some progress being made at the Scott Manor. 2 pieces of wood were put down. So finally, we're starting something. Their son, they discussed their son, MJ. He wants to go to college in Michigan. That doesn't sit well with Tisha. She don't want her son too far away. That's why he wants to go far, far away. I know it's hard, Tisha, but don't be overbearing because you're going to be pushing your son right out that door. So they discuss Marcel moving slowly with his projects and dragging his feet with Kimmy's project and taking his time with Keisha's project, even though he pushed his own wife out of the office and now he's dragging his feet to finish her office, her new office, got her working at Starbucks and everything else. Shot a mess. I think he should only work on one project at a time because this is an ongoing issue. So they talk about Scott Manor some more, about where the kids will be and Miss Wanda having a room there. The kids gonna be full grown with children of their own if y'all ever even move into this joint, but okay. So Maurice decides to meet with Marquez because he wants to hear his side of the story. Who deemed Maurice the voice of reason? But I digress. So Maurice asked Marquez if he or Trish have attorneys, divorce attorneys. No, because they don't really want to get divorced. And then, of course, Marquez is like, oh, well, can you help me with that? Sir, he's not a divorce attorney. Like, you just be saying, like, you ain't getting a divorce attorney. Hush. Honestly, you really don't need lawyers if you ain't splitting up assets and stuff. And by the time they get this divorce done, their youngest child will be grown. So Marquez said Ken reached out to him. And after hearing what Ken had to say, he was like, okay, I see why Trish loved him. He acts just like her daddy. Something I would never do. Like, she wanted me to act like her father, and I wouldn't do it. If you think that's the only issue, then okay. So Marquez said that he stayed in the marriage longer than he should have, knowing he shouldn't have been there, to prove his father wrong. His father said it won't last more than 5 years. Probably they got married like fresh out of high school, so they were very young when they got married. But his father said it ain't gonna last. He had a point to prove, so he stayed. And then, 5 years came around, so he felt like, I proved my dad wrong. Then 10 years. Then he said by the 10th year, that's when he knew he wanted to leave. But she, kept having all these passings kept happening in her family, so that wasn't the right time. You still did up. Did you forget that you still did up and leave and go to Atlanta? And then you can be physically present, but your presence not be felt. Like, you can be present in the home and she can feel alone. So that just because you're there, like a bump in a log or like a lamp in the corner, that don't mean you was physically there, especially since you were clearly acting like you didn't want to be there. So, but Maurice asks, why does he want to be there at this point? Like, Trish done filed for divorce. She don't want you no more. He gonna say, Trish never said she didn't want him. Maurice is like, but she filed for divorce. he's like, that's because Ken made her. Look, whatever the reason is, she don't want you no more. Even if she's faking it. Right now, she's saying she don't want you. Let it go. Okay. He said he could have her if he wanted to, and he gave her to Ken. Now, I didn't like that statement because he's talking about her like she a piece of property. But Marquez said he wants to hang out like a family, and he want to go on family trips with Ken and Trish, and he just been delusional, child. It ain't gonna happen. I know Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys and Mashonda do it, but everybody ain't for that, okay? So Marquez comes over to Trish and Ken's place, and he walked in once again. But this time he just strolled in for no reason at all. Like, why wasn't the door locked? Why don't y'all just lock y'all door? So Ken says he wants to discuss boundaries. And Marquez said these boundaries should have been discussed 2-3 years ago. Or really when y'all first started talking, there should have been some boundaries. But, I digress. And then he was like, well, it was my fault. She was like, it is. Out of sight, out of mind. I get what she's saying because you left. But girl, if you're over it, you're gonna do it the right way. Like you're gonna do it right. You're not just gonna be like, oh well, let me just play house with somebody while I'm still married. You're gonna actually end it if you were really over it. That's why I don't think she's really over it. One, too much heat and passion when she be arguing with him. Like I'm not letting somebody who I don't got no feelings for upset me that way. And then you don't want to file. I know you part of it is because you don't want to marry Ken, but it's just too much. Something in the milk ain't clean. So Marquez said that he wasn't going to let his daughter just walk in the house carrying multiple bags and a bunch of juices. And okay, I understand that, but you should have stopped at the door. Like you should have stopped, bought the stuff in like the entrance of the doorway and stopped there. You shouldn't have just been strolling in and talking. But we know production was behind it. They had to set up a scene and get him a storyline. So that's all that was. Because he walked in fully mic'd up. So let's not act like this was some kind of surprise. So her friend Sharon walks in and Marquez offers her a drink. Meanwhile, they didn't even give him a drink. Marquez, you don't live there. What are you doing offering her a drink? And why is she here? Thought it was being loud. Anyway, but once friend Sharon walked in, she added nothing, no value at all. I mean, he apologized. Marquez apologized to her at some point for yelling, which was cool. I think she owed him an apology too, because girl, you had too much smoke for this man you literally just met. And telling him about his business that you weren't a part of. Like, I just don't understand. But the kids come up. Mind you, one of these children is an adult. Okay. And Ken, because Marquez is like, she's traumatizing our kids, bringing them into this. And Ken gonna say, oh, the kids ain't traumatized. They don't feel no kind of way. Sir, don't speak for them kids. How are you gonna say how they feel? You don't know how they feel. Don't speak for them. Don't speak for those children. They have their own opinions and thoughts. You may feel like they're fine. They may be telling their father something that you don't know about. You don't know how their mother being on national TV with a boyfriend and a husband is affecting them. Okay? So Sharon tries to interject and chime in. Girl, you be quiet. Who asked you? Why are you even still sitting here? So Ken starts screaming that it's his family because he does XYZ once again. And Marquez said, look, we're going backwards. And he's right. That's exactly what y'all are doing. He feels like, he don't have no say so because this is my house and I'm there and I'm present. It's my family. Until their divorce, he has all the say so in the world. That's his wife. Okay? And he's not even trying. He's trying to co-parent with y'all. Like, I don't understand. Like, y'all are really the ones making yourselves look crazy at this point. So Ken says, because he was like, I'm paying for everything. And Marquez said, I gave you money. And he was like, $500? Now, if you had children, $500 ain't really doing much. $500 ain't really making a dent on nothing, especially when it comes to girls and dance, okay? Because that stuff gets expensive. But did y'all tell him how much you need? Did you tell him how much you needed? He gave something. It's a start. He moved back to Huntsville. He's present now. So everything you're saying about he doesn't do anything and he's not present, well, he's here now. So you can't really use that anymore. But he was then Ken was like, okay, you gave $500. You don't get no cool points for doing what you were supposed to do. I don't think he was trying to. You brought it up, Ken, but he was like, I mean, and he doesn't. That's what he's supposed. He's supposed to provide for his child, no matter if a man's in a home or not. But then Marquez also had a very valid point. He was like, you don't get no cool points for doing what you're supposed to do. You live here. You live here. You up here talking about this your family, this your house. So you don't get no cool points. We ain't about to give you no cookie or no award for doing what you were supposed to do. Since you're the man in the house and you with them every day. Touche. That's a valid point. He wants to, if you want to take on that responsibility and say, I'm the man in the house and I'm the father and I'm the this, that, blah, 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 then do that. Don't just do it for bragging rights. Do it and be genuine about it. Because last season, it was going on, I had to pay for stuff for your kids. I had to pay for this for your kids. I wouldn't even want him paying. If I was Trish, I wouldn't want him paying for nothing else for my children because you won't shut up about it. But, and again, like I said, if a man is living, if you're living in a house with a child, especially if it's a man living in a house on the home with a child, you should be providing for everybody. If you're a woman and your man has a child or kids, when the kids come over or whatever, you should be caring for the child. Like, see, you see how Kimmy's doing all the work and not bragging about it. See, you can't, if you're gonna be there and filling that role, you knew what it was when you signed up. You don't get to be complaining about it. You've been there for a while. He's just salty because he's not her husband and won't be. So, I mean, because like I said, it takes a stand-up person to step in and do that. I don't know what Ken's intentions are. At first, I thought he was a stand-up guy. Kids need all the love they can get. If you have a step here, people act like, oh, he shouldn't be doing that. He's not that. They have a father. All the love that kids can get, the better. And if you're going to be in the house, they spend more time with kids than they do their biological father. A step parent can be just as active and should get just as much credit as a biological parent, especially if they are stepping up and doing a role. It's him bragging about it and throwing it up and bringing it up as some kind of point to get some kind of dig when he gets in arguments with people that I don't like, because then it seems malicious, like you're not doing it for true, genuine intentions. You sought after somebody else's wife and wanted to come in, and then I feel like when the game is over and she's divorced and free and available, he's not going to want it anymore. But I digress. So Marquez asks for next steps and calls Trish out for claiming that on the divorce documents, she wrote down that they have no minor children. Hence on the word minor children. He didn't say that she wrote that they don't have any children. They do have one minor child. So Trish and Ken deny. And then Trish gets her friend Sharon involved. And she was like, are the names there? And friend Sharon reads the names. But again, just because names were mentioned, he said that she didn't mention that there was any minor children. Now, we didn't see the document, so we don't know what it says. All of them like to lie. I don't know about you, friend Sharon, but the rest of them have all told a story or two, so I don't know what to believe, especially Trish. So I don't know who's lying, who's telling the truth, or what the mix-up is. But I feel like he said, usually you're talking about, oh, see, it says right here, here's the children's names. That doesn't mean that you wrote down that they're minors. So, I don't know. But Ken starts disrespecting Marquez, yelling at him to sit down. Like, first of all, Marquez is not your child. Let's get an understanding. You invited somebody to your home. You yelling and hollering at them, won't give them a drink, doing the most in front of these cameras, showing off. And it's giving nothing. Like, Ken, it's really not giving what you think it's giving, baby. It ain't giving what you think it's giving. It's not. So he starts talking about, because you need to sit down or get out or I'll put you out. Goodbye. Okay? Because it's not even worth it. And where are the children while all this hollering is going on? But Ken think they're not traumatized. Please. I said, absolutely not. Marquez didn't do anything in this moment to warrant any of this. All this what he did before, your gripes from before, that's fine. But he's not doing anything right here, right now, for you to be talking to him this way. Especially when he's not responding in a negative way. Again, Ken is just mad because at the end of the day, everybody keeps saying that that's that lady husband because he is. and he can't do nothing about it. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode down in the comments. Did you miss the Fletchers? I didn't. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.